next item on the agenda is certificates of election. Ms. Gross.
The three of you will come over here. We'll do the oath of office and the statement of election. Raise my hand. Do you, Kelly Jean Blackson, solemnly swear that you have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised in a public office or employment, or giving or withholding a vote at the election if you were elected to it prior. And we will do the oath of office. Do you, Kelly Jingle Axon, Christina Ferguson, Chris Wood, solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the duties of the office of school trustee for Cleveland Independent School District of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help you God. Christina, these are yours. Chris, these are yours. These are yours. How about it? Congratulations. Welcome.
The next item on the agenda is considering reorganization of the board.
I'll make a motion to leave it as it is.
Okay, I have a motion from Kelly to leave the officers as is.
I'll second.
Second, please. Okay. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda is recognition ceremony for our local businesses and community organizations. Honors.
We're starting a new program in conjunction with the Texas Association of School Boards to recognize our local businesses and organizations that stand up for education and stand up for our students. And tonight, our first two recipients of this award, I want to recognize them for the things that they do for our kids and the things that they do for our community as a whole. And the first one is the Lions Club of Cleveland, Texas. The second one that we have this evening is and somebody that, again, consistently supports our school and supports our student, and that's Anderson Ford. Ms. Anderson? And there will be more to come in the future, so looking forward to that.
The next item on our agenda is the graduation ceremony.
Well, guys, as I stand here tonight, this has truly taken a village to raise a child, but I present to you Mr. Zachary Bergman. Mr. McCandless, Mr. Fulton, his parents have all had such a part in this, our teachers at Douglas. But Zach, we are very proud of you. You know, we'll hug you next.
That's a big deal, and I do mean a big deal. Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is open forum. If anybody signed up? If anybody signed up to speak? So our next item is the reports. Dr. Myers?
Got a few things to report to the board. First of all, our attendance rate right now is the same as it was last month, holding at 95.04%. You have the breakdown in your packets with regard to the campuses. The enrollment rather is down just a little bit from last month. At 3864, we were 3884, so we dropped 20 kids over the last month. Not quite sure about that, but it's been sort of across the board, both at Southside up. So, tax collection reports on page 6. As you can see, we collected a few more taxes than we did last year. Our delinquencies are up just a little bit as well, and that's probably to be expected with the values going up. But nonetheless, we're doing well on year-to-date as far as that's concerned. We also have in the report the activity accounts for our two campuses with activity accounts. There's a budget summary in there for you to take a look at. We're doing well as far as the budget's concerned. And then there's the various department and campus reports that are included in your packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of those areas. Any questions?
Any questions about any of the reports?
Then I'll just finish up with a few other things. We've got our annual end of the year breakfast that's coming up on June the 5th. And we're going to do that at 8 o'clock at the high school. So if you have opportunity to come and join the faculty, please do so. Graduation, obviously, is Friday, June the 5th, and it's at 8 o'clock. If we could meet the north end of the stadium at 7:30, we can organize ourselves and get in position for the graduation ceremony. Summer hours for the district, as we normally do, with 4:10s, and they're posted there for you to see from 7 till 5 in the evening, Monday through Thursday. And the TASB Summer Leadership Institute is coming up on June the 11th through the 13th in San Antonio, and I believe Ms. Stacy sent you an email in regard to that as well. So you may want to look for that. We do need to have a meeting with the architect at the 1st of June. We're still working on some possible dates because of the graduation. And then the next week, the architect's full, so we'll be looking we'll need to be looking at probably the third week in June for that. And then we also need to have a workshop either on June the 22nd or the 23rd, if you look at your calendars and let me know, to review our TASB salary survey with the Texas Association of School Boards and hear what their recommendations are, what they found. So quite a bit on the calendar. So you can drop me an email or whatever if you have preferences on those dates, or tell Mr. Wood or whatever, and we'll get together and set a date for that if that's okay.
Do y'all have a preference for the salary survey, 22nd or 23rd, Monday or Tuesday at this point?
Doesn't matter.
Go ahead and schedule that for Monday. Does that work for everybody?
June 22nd, is that what you said?
Does that work out for you, Tim?
You all right with that one?
What time?
What
It'll be
time?
7 o'clock. Anything else, Dr. Myers?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions about any of the administrators' reports? If not, we'll move on to the next item, which is bills and payroll. Dr. Myers?
In your package, you have our bills and payroll for the previous month, and I would recommend that we approve those.
Do I have a motion concerning bills and payroll? Motion from Christie. Have a second, please.
I'll second it.
Second from Kelly. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda is budget amendment number 3. Dr. Myers?
On page 68 of your board packet, we have the budget amendment number 3. I'll run through what it entails basically pretty quickly. If you look at the codes on the left, starting off at the top, the 211 code, the 255 code, and the 263 code, all those are adjustments for notice of grant awards that we received. We got a little bit more money than we had anticipated, or a little bit less. On 263, they cut us $2, so we had to make that entry into the budget. Also on 226, that was just received, and that was a notice of grant award that we had to put into the budget. We had the line item for it, but we had not received the notice that we were going to receive that money yet, and they just released it. On 244, that's adjusted for a Region 4 consultant. If you remember, we had our FAR visit, and they came down and did the audit for us. We got a consultant from Region 4 to come and work with Ms. Shaw for about 4 months previous to that in order for us to get ready for that audit. And that's what the adjustment is there. We did not have that in the budget, so we moved some money around to cover that $3,200 expense for the Region Center. And then number 409, Ms. Billingsley tried to explain this to me as best I could understand it. We had some carryover money that was left in that fund, and essentially we didn't have enough to take care of the salaries and so forth that we had been paying out of it, so it was adjusted with a budget amendment to take care of the salaries for the at-risk student salaries, Douglas and so forth. Did I say that right, Ms. Billingsley? Pretty close? Yeah. I don't speak accounting, so that's common language for what I understood. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. So all in all, pretty minor amendments, and I would ask the board to approve those.
Do I have a motion concerning?
So moved.
A motion from Kelly. Have a second, please.
Second.
Second from Christie. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda concerns the minutes of the regular meeting, April the 20th, the board workshop of May the 5th, and the board training and special meeting of May the 11th. Do I have a motion concerning those minutes?
Also move.
Motion from Tammy. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second from Christie. Any other questions, corrections, or discussion concerning the minutes? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda is consideration to extend the district's depository contract with Prosperity Bank. Dr. Myers.
As you know, our depository is Prosperity Bank, and we've it had gone up to bid for that back on the September or in 2013. The contract began on September the 1st, 2013, and it's up on August the 31st of 2015. I would recommend to the board that we extend that contract under Section 45.201 of the Texas Education Code to last or run through August the 31st of 2017, which would mean that, according to the TEC, that we would have to go out for bids in the summer of 2017 for that depository contract. It couldn't be extended any further beyond that. So at this time, I'd recommend that we go ahead and extend that contract. They're doing a good job and have serviced the district well.
Do I have a motion concerning the depository contract?
So moved.
Motion from Kelly. Have a second, please.
I'll second.
Second from Tammy. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. The next item on the agenda is the opportunity to nominate someone for election to the TASB Board of Directors positions A and C. Dr. Myers.
TASB has, as you know, a board of directors, and positions for Region 4, positions A and C are up. Right now, for position 4A, Ronald Cryer from Spring ISD holds that position, and Mr. Cryer is going to be seeking re-election. And then position 4C is held by Benny May, a board member over at Barbers Hill, and Mr. May is going to intends to seek re-election as well. If our board wants to nominate someone for those positions, we can certainly do so. We'll need to do it previous to June the 30th and have that into TASB at that time. So if anybody has an inkling that they would like to run for those positions, then we'll need to have that voted on at the next board meeting and move from there. Just a point of information.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the STAR reading results from April 2015 for grades 5 and 8, and the TELPAS results.
I'm going to ask Ms. Silva to come and talk to us about the STAR results. Before she begins, I think we're we're seeing a turning point here, and as she presents that, it may not quite look like it, but there's some factors involved in where we were headed and where we're going that I feel really good about, and I think we're on the right path. I also want her to talk about, other than the TELPAS, I want her to talk about Senate Bill 149 and the implementation of that graduation committees under this, just so that the board's informed of what the statute is in dealing with those students receiving credit and being able to, or receiving a diploma, I should say. So with that said, Ms. Silva, would you like to give the board?
On page 106 of your board book, you have the information for the EOC, the STAR scores, the first administration for 2015. You also have the state scores for 2014 and previous years' scores on the first administration. For this year, we're only doing reading because math has new teaks, and so they're not going to include that in the accountability system. So for grade 5, our percent passing for the first administration was 68, and for grade 8, it was 63. The students took the second administration on May 12th, and we should have those scores back hopefully by June 1st. So we're anxiously awaiting those. And there's a lot of activities that the campuses did. Middle school did Camp Iwana for the kids, and really promoted that reading and those reading interventions for those students that were not successful.
I want to comment on that just briefly. One of the things in dealing with these students and dealing with what we've had in the past is it's going to take us a little time in order to get up to where we need to be as far as speed. We're not going to change it in a matter of 8 months. But what I think you'll see is some good positive changes with regard to the retest. And I feel real positive about the direction that we're going, about some of the good things that we're seeing from the campuses. So I'm feeling really positive about where we're headed. And I'm looking forward to seeing better things.
So just to make sure I'm reading this right, Ms. Silva, the STAR 2015 column for 5th grade, we scored 68%,
Yes, sir.
and that's compared to 2014 at 66% at the same time, the same
Yes.
testing period? Okay,
Yes.
so we're up 2 percentage points
We're up 2%
year over year? Okay,
from last year to this year.
okay.
Is the rigor still increasing on that exam as far as the difficulty?
Yes, the level of difficulty of the assessment
Alright.
has increased from year to year. It does increase from year to year. Now, we are using the accelerated reader this year, and the kids are doing that program religiously at all grade levels.
One of the things I would like to point out in reference to that question is, as we advance in grade levels, the rigor of that test advances as well. So not only are we trying to make up the deficit, but we're also trying to catch up on the rigor that they're going to be presented in the future. So when we see small gains of 2% or something in that area, what it's an indicator of is we're moving in the right direction because we've not only made up a little bit of progress or a little bit of gap, but we're making some progress as well. I'm really interested to see the retest results and how we come in with the retest. No pressure on the principals, but
Yeah, right.
but I'm looking forward to it. They've done a lot of hard work, and I just think it's going to pay off for our kids. So I'm really looking forward to it.
The next page in your packet has the TELPAS scores, and the TELPAS scores is a test of English language proficiency for our English language learners. And so it's divided by grade level. You have the number of students tested and the number that tested at each proficiency level for the population of the students that increase from one proficiency to another. And that's really the one that has a little bit more comparable data, because we can compare how many of our students progressed at least one proficiency level from one year to the next. And if you look, it depends on the grade level, but we had some huge jumps in third grade. In third grade last year, we had 33% of the students progress one proficiency level. This year, we had 54% of the students increase one proficiency level. In fourth grade, we had 49% increase one proficiency level, and this year we had 16% increase one proficiency level. So we're making some gains, and then we do need to, we are looking at these scores, and we're going to make some interventions for next year for these students, especially at those grade levels where we did see a decrease in the percentage of students that have increased in English language proficiency.
Can you speak to the rigor of that test as they get older?
The rigor in K through 1, the reading is like an observation that the teacher does. In second grade on up, they start doing what they call the reading test online. And so it gets a little bit harder as far as it's closely aligned to the STAR test. And so the meaning behind that is that they should, once they get successful on that test, then they should be able to be successful in the STAR test the following year. So it's very comparable to the STAR.
And that's which I think we're making some good gains with our LEP kids, but that's pretty tough for our high school LEP kids and our secondary LEP kids in those situations where they may have only been speaking for the last 2 or 3 years and expected to perform at that level. But nonetheless, I think we're doing some good things in the LEP as well.
And we've had a huge increase in that population. I think from last year to this year, it's been about 200 students that we increased in that specific population.
We went from about 800 limited English proficient students to over 1,000, or right at 1,000. So, pretty good jump.
That's across all grade levels?
That's across our grade levels. Especially at the third grade, we've seen a huge increase.
So most of it at the elementary level?
Most of it. Okay, the last item that I have to discuss is Senate Bill 149, and I put a brief overview of the Senate bill information. Mainly, this bill was passed to assist our juniors and seniors in being able to graduate. The criteria is that they have, it's for any junior or senior who has failed to pass no more than 2 of the 5 EOC tests. And to be able to graduate and to receive a diploma via the IGC, a student must complete the curriculum requirements for the foundational high school program. So there's a composition of the committee. There's specific considerations that need to be considered in the IGC meeting. One of the main things is that the decision has to be unanimous of the people serving on that committee, and then that the students must pass all course requirements. So first they have to pass all course requirements, and then they'll look at specific information that the committee determines. In talking to Mr. McCandless, right now we have 19 students at Cleveland High School that qualify for this committee, and there's about 85% of them that only lack 1 test. At Douglas, we have 6 possible students that could go through the IGC.
Some of our students who have not passed the EOC have passed the remediation pre-secondary or post-secondary education remediation class. So, in other words, when they go to college, they'll be placed in college algebra even though they haven't passed the EOC based on having passed that class, the remediation class. Any questions about that? I I would point out that this only applies to the EOC test and does not apply to the tax test that students have not passed. So the tax is excluded from this. And this is for this year's class only. Any questions we can answer?
For this year's class only until we see what the impact is next year.
Yes, sir?
Because the legislature is in session.
Yes, sir?
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Silver. The next item on the agenda is some TASB correspondence and TEA correspondence. Dr. Myers?
Okay, on page 110 of your book, you have some correspondence from TASB, and what this is for the advocacy resolutions. Districts may submit an advocacy resolution as far as a stance for guiding TASB's response to an issue that might arise before the legislature or something of that nature. For instance, perhaps we don't approve, say TASB did not have an advocacy stance with regard to vouchers, and we don't approve with vouchers, then we could submit an advocacy resolution to the TASB convention stating that we oppose vouchers and TASB should oppose all vouchers in schools and so forth. So that's what they're talking about as an example. If the board wants to do that, then we have until July the 1st to submit those, and I would say that if anybody on the board has a position that they want to discuss with the board, let me know, and we'll certainly put it on the agenda for the board to discuss at our June meeting prior to that July 1st deadline. And then the second piece of correspondence I have for you is from our commissioner, Dr. Williams. And it's just announcing that Ms. Carol Moffitt is going to be our monitor. And Ms. Moffitt's going to contact me in the next few days. And it outlines what the monitor does and exactly how much we have to pay the monitor and so forth and so on. So I'll let you read those details. But I know Ms. Moffitt, I've known her for about too long, 20 plus, I'll put it that way. Anyway, she's a good lady. She's a good school person. I look forward to working with her, and I think you're going to enjoy working with her as well.
Any questions about either of those items? If not, the board will go into recess to convene an executive session at 7:24.